Yo guys, what is going on? Got a Lilith loop deck profile for you guys. The Queen has returned for the BT6 format, and let me tell you guys, this is a very fun deck if you like kind of combo-y and very like complex but like high ceiling decks. Well, this is the deck for you. I always recommend purple as a color to my friends who are maybe getting in from a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh where there's a lot of complex interactions. So if you like decks like that that can do a lot of shenanigans, basically looping Lilithmon with Omnimon's Wart and gaining massive amounts of memories with that interaction as well, this is the deck for you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my card choices and then kind of the basic combos of the deck and how exactly to perform them. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for the Digi-Eggs, I'm playing a lineup of 4 Demi-Meramon and 1 copy of Tsunomon. So I still think Demi-Meramon is the best purple Digi-Egg in pretty much most situations. There's never a situation where drawing one, discarding one, cycling through your deck, and setting up your trash is a bad thing. So I definitely recommend playing 4 copies of this, and then 1 Tsunomon because I am playing Titamon in this build. So this is from BT6. This card says, once per turn when you trash a card in your hand due to one of your effects, you can trigger draw 1. So it's just nice to be able to use this with something like Lady Devimon if you're drawing 2, discarding 2, and then you trigger this to draw another one, or even something like your Titamon as well. So this works really nicely with those. So that is the Digi-Egg lineup, and then for the level 3 Digimon, we are playing 4 copies of Tapermon. I think Tapermon as an early game card is still really fantastic, being able to just Digivolve this on top of a Demi-Meramon, and then, you know, swing into your opponent's security, trigger his effect, draw 1, trigger Demi-Meramon, draw another card, and discard 1. So you're basically cycling 2 through your deck, so this is really nice to put on pressure during the early game. So I still think I'm a big fan of this card. Also playing 3 copies of Gabumon. This guy lets you cycle through your deck. That is the name of the game, just being able to get to your combo pieces as quickly as possible, because this deck unfortunately does require a lot of setup, and I would say that is its downside, the fact that it can be a little bit inconsistent at times, and the fact that you need 3 or 4 cards in your hand to perform your really explosive combos. So Gabumon is really nice for that, and in a similar vein with the on-play effect, Labramon kind of helps you cycle as well, trigger, draw 1, and trash 1 whenever this guy is played from your hand. So that is it for the kind of cycling through your deck cards, and then for the other level 3s, also playing 2 copies of Electmon. This guy's really nice. He is a 4 cost to play, but hopefully you will never be in a situation where you need to play him. You have the effect of on deletion, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. So he's really, really fantastic removal. And then 2 copies of Gazimon, of course, because the memory boost cards are prominent in the set 6 meta, and of course being able to shut your opponent down from cards like the memory boost and as well as Blinding Ray Hammer Spark is really fantastic. And then just 1 copy of Demi-Meramon to round off the purple level 3 Digimon. So then for the level 4s, we've got a lot of really nice additions to the deck. So first of all, your staple in the form of 4 copies of Blocker Devimon. Of course, you need to play blockers in this deck, even though it is a combo deck. Sometimes your games go long and you need time to set up, so this guy helps you stall for time. I was also considering Vilemon as well, which I definitely don't think is a bad inclusion. I just couldn't find space with all the other fantastic level 4s you are playing. So then for the other level 4s, playing 2 copies of Ginkakumon Promote. Promote is a really, really crazy card. So first of all, this guy has the condition, or the, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, the ability to be able to Digivolve on top of level 4s as well for a 1 cost. So not only can you Digivolve normally on top of 3s, but you can also evolve on 4s. And he has the keyword Rush, meaning the turn he is played, you can actually still declare an attack with him, which is really amazing, being able to put pressure on your opponent. Bringing this back with something like Titamon, getting multiple attacks in, because then Titamon will get security attack +1, so that's basically 3 cards you're taking down from your opponent's security. And then, of course, being able to play this off of Zwart is also really crazy, especially when you evolve Zwart for a 0 cost of the Mega Digimon Fusion. Then you can just go to town with that Zwart's effect, and then run over something with the Ginkakumon, or maybe attack your opponent's security that way. And then another interaction that I did want to kind of just talk about is the keyword Rush. So Rush is a keyword that applies to, because it is Ginkakumon promotes the main effect, that is only this Digimon will have Rush. So for example, if you play a Ginkakumon and then let's say you evolve it into a Lady Devimon, and since this Digimon was played this turn, Lady Devimon does not have the keyword Rush, nor does it have the inherited ability Rush, so it won't be able to attack that turn. However, on the contrary, if, assuming you have the correct amount of memory, let's say you play a Demi Devimon from your hand for 2 cost, and then you Digivolve it into Ginkakumon Promote, then if you, assuming, like I said, you have enough memory, then if you try to declare an attack with Ginkakumon, it will go through, because even though you play the Demi Devimon, the Rush keyword is on Ginkakumon, and that therefore lets you bypass the summoning sickness that is on this Digimon stack. Okay, so that's just one important thing I do want to kind of point out. Like, let's say if I was at 4 memory, or maybe 5 memory, if I've got like a memory boost card or something, I can play this, Digivolve this, and swing potentially for game. Okay, so Rush does work in that sense, but not in the reverse sense, where if I evolve over Ginkakumon, you'll get to attack. So anyways, just wanted to point that out, but either way, Ginkakumon is a really amazing card. And then for the other level 4s, playing the Promo Wizardmon. So this guy is crazy because he has the inherited effect of you gaining a memory every time you activate an option card. Of course, that is once per turn, but if you've got a Lilithmon and this guy underneath the same stack, and you activate maybe a Jack Raid, gain 1 off of the Jack Raid, gain 1 off of him, gain 2 off the Lilithmon, that is a plus 4 memory interaction. So it makes the deck even crazier when it comes to the memory gaining. Sometimes there are turns where you gain so much memory, you like actually just don't even know what to do with it all. So I think this card's a really crazy addition to the deck. And then 2 copies of BT6 Ogremon. This guy has the on-play of you may trash a card to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So this is really great, just hard playing it from hand, but it's even better when you bring it back off of Zwart or Tidamon, being able to just get rid of your opponent's blockers and pesky stuff like that. So that is it for the level 4s. And then for the level 5s, you've got 4 copies of the best ultimate in the game, 4 copies of Lady Devimon. Being able to draw 2, discard 2 is so crazy. Of course, stacking this effect with the cards like Tsunamon, so being able to draw 1 off of that, and then maybe if you've got a Takumi on field, you can draw 3, discard 2, so there's just so many ways that, like, once this card hits the field, you're pretty much always unbricking your hand, which is why I think 4 copies is essential, because bricking is this deck's worst nightmare, whereas other decks can maybe run other option cards, or cards like TK for consistency, or even the memory boost cards or whatever. This deck really needs its combo pieces to get going. Like I said, it is a slow to start deck, so there are a lot of decks in this format that can OTK you out of nowhere. So if you want to stand a chance against stuff like Jesmon or Bond of Friendship, I think it is imperative that you run as many consistency cards as possible. So then for the other ultimates, playing 2 copies of Skullmeramon just to Digivolve quickly, 1 copy of Chimeramon to bring back off of your Zwart just to get a little bit of extra removal in the deck, and then 1 copy of Rebellion. I think he's a really cool card. Being able to have Retaliation Blocker is a pretty insane effect, especially against, like I said, decks that have kind of a 1-stack strategy, or put all the resources into 1 powerful boss monster. This can immediately just put a stop to that. So that is it for the ultimates. And now for the megas, we have 3 copies of Lilithmon herself. I definitely do think 4 is fine as well. I don't think it's necessary though, because for a couple reasons. 1, I am playing Takumi in this deck, so just because I am playing this card right here, I think it does let you mess around with your ratios a little bit more. So having like 3 of a kind of essential card in your strategy is fine. Plus, this card is not very good early game. You do not want to this to be the first level 6 you see in your opening hand or in the first couple of turns, because if you do, it's like as amazing as Lilithmon is, she's not really going to be doing anything on the first couple of turns. You really want to have a setup trash. You want to have the correct cards in hand to be able to perform your loop. Other than that, she is just like an 11,000 vanilla, and the only real option cards you are playing in this deck are the option cards that are related to performing your loop, of course. So I think 3 is fine. 4, you could argue, is definitely correct. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I think 3 is definitely enough. And then for the other level 6, I'm playing 3 copies of Tidamon. I was also messing around with the Chaos Gallantmon and Megidramon as well. I think Megidramon is another really cool card that you can run alongside Lilithmon, but Tidamon I think is the most toolboxy. He does a lot of things, and I kind of wanted to make this deck able to do other things rather than just Lilith Loop, like while you're kind of waiting on your strategy. So being able to discard a card, bring back stuff like Ogremon, maybe bring back a Ginkakumon Promote or your Devimon Blocker, or any of those cards, just being able to tutor them out from the trash is really nice. And then of course being able to hit 12,000 security attack +1, and then like I said, if you're getting that additional boost as well, that is really, really nice from Tidamon's second effect. So I think this lineup is really nice. And then for the level 7s, just playing 3 copies of Omnimon's Wart. So Omnimon's Wart is an insane card, guys. This card is so crazy. I think this card has just gotten better over time. It wasn't avidly played in the BT5 format outside of a few niche decks, but in the set 6 format, I think this deck is not only good in Lilith Loop, but in Three Musketeers and some other strategies as well. But that aside, as far as this deck goes, Wart is your main win condition, being able to trash the top 3, bring back 2 purple level 5 or lower, or 8 cost or lower, but that's essentially everything that's level 5 or lower in this deck. That lets you perform your loop, and then going into stuff like Lilithmon and Tidamon, after you do that is really, really amazing. And then of course his secondary effect, when attacking, you can just get rid of anything with a 12 play cost or lower that is unsuspended. So that encompasses most level 6s in the game. And then of course just being able to have removal like that is really insane. So the turns you can get out Zwart for free are the most insane turns that you have in this deck. And then for the Tamers and option cards, playing 2 copies of Manoa Bellucci. So this card does not really do anything in this deck outside of being a white memory tamer. Being white means that I don't have to worry about being set to 3 by playing something like BT1 Matte. Now I can fulfill the requirement of being a memory tamer and setting myself up for these Wart Mega Digimon Fusion plays. So Manoa is really, really fantastic. And then for the other tamers, playing 2 copies of Takumi Aiba. Takumi is really, really good because you get to just go through your deck as quickly as possible. Now, I would recommend you guys being cautious with this card because you can definitely deck yourself out in this deck once you start going. So you really, really only need Takumi for like the first couple of turns, just being able to unbreak your hand and getting hand advantage, but you don't want to be over eager with this card. Okay, there have been many times testing this deck out where I just like constantly use it every turn, and then especially if you get 2 and you're drawing 2 off of every Digivolution, it gets a little bit crazy. Okay, but this card helps you draw into your combo pieces, and it also helps you like not have to run 4 of everything just to see it, if that makes sense. So being able to modify your ratios a little bit is really nice in my opinion. So then for the option cards, playing 2 copies of Mega Digimon Fusion and 2 copies of Jackraid. I am just basically playing the bare essentials for the Lilith Loop strategy. I don't think you want to resolve Mega Digimon Fusion any more than 2 times in a game. If you've resolved it twice and you're not winning, then I mean, well, not saying that you have to resolve twice to win, but anyways, so my point is like, you don't ever need to resolve it more than twice, okay? Resolving once is already enough. Resolving it twice is, like, more than that is just redundant. And then I think more than 2 Jackraids, while it does have a really nice security effect, seeing this early game is really terrible because it essentially just does nothing in your hand. It's not like Hammer Spark where you can just activate it immediately. You need to have the 10 or more. More likely than not, you'll want to have like 20 or more cards in trash before you activate this. But anyways, so that is it for the list. So let's go ahead and show you how some of the combos work. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and take this scenario right here. So you see a lot of cards on field. This is just going to be like the main strategy. There's lots of combos you can do in this deck, but essentially the goal here is to have this setup where you have access to a Lilithmon, a Omnimon Zwart, as well as a Mega Digimon Fusion. So let's say these 3 cards are your hand right now. You'll need a white card on field, or in this case, since I'm evolving into Lilithmon, let's say you have Manoa on field. And then also having the Jack Raids in trash is not necessarily mandatory, but for this scenario, let's go ahead and assume I have enough cards in trash to be able to activate Lilithmon's effect, so like the 10 required plus the Jack Raids. So let's go ahead and bring out our Lady Devimon. We're set at 3 memory because of Manoa. I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve into my Lilithmon, and I'll draw from Lilithmon, and then I'll use Lilithmon's effect trigger, her effect where you can add 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand. So I'll go ahead and add these Jack Raids to hand. So currently I'm at 0 memory, and then I'm going to go ahead and activate both Jack Raids. So this will gain me 2, activating Lilithmon's effect to gain 2. So I'm currently back at 4 memory. These will go to the trash, and then what I'm going to do is activate the copy of Mega Digimon Fusion, allowing me to reduce the cost of Digivolving into Zwart by 6, so allowing me to Digivolve him for free, so drawing my card off of him, and then I'm currently still at 4 memory. Zwart's effect will trigger. I'm going to mill 3 cards, doesn't really matter what they are. The only thing you need to have is 1 level 5 to be able to bring back to Digivolve Lilithmon again. So let's say in this scenario I didn't have anything else, I just had this Skelemeramon, so I'm going to bring this back, and then what you'll do is you'll go ahead and declare your attack with Zwart, use his effect, bounce back the Lilithmon to hand to destroy an unsuspend Digimon of cost 12 or lower on your opponent's side of the field. Now note, your opponent actually doesn't even need to have cards on the field for you to use that effect. You can just trigger it and bounce back Lilithmon to your hand anyways, and then you'll attack whatever was Zwart, potentially kill something, and then you'll go ahead and Digivolve Lilithmon again, draw another card off her. You're currently back to 1 memory, and then you'll go ahead and use Lilithmon's effect, add back your Jack Raids once again, and then you can just go ahead and activate them again because it's not once per turn. Lilithmon is a soft once per turn, meaning once per copy, but not a hard once per turn. So you can go ahead, activate these, go to 6, and then Lilithmon will put you to 8. So just like that, you have performed a Lilith loop, 3 extra cards in hand. Currently at 8 memory with a Zwart on field. You deleted something on your opponent's side of the field, potentially attacked over something else. You've also got the Lilithmon, and then in this scenario, at the end of the turn, Zwart will go back down to the bottom of the deck because of the effect of Mega Digimon Fusion, but even so, you still put a level 6 on the field, potentially getting rid of your opponent's Digimon and successfully performing the Lilith loops. That is the main combo right there. Another cool interaction you can do is with Tidamon. He's a really cool toolboxy card where you can basically discard a card to bring back any level 4 or lower Digimon from your hand. My favorite one to bring back is an Ogremon. So one example of something you could do is, let's say this is your hand right here, and let's say you are at 3 memory, so assuming something like a Manoa is on field, so you can go ahead and maybe bring out an ultimate, or if you have one on field, Digivolve into your Tidamon, use the effect draw a card, so you'll always have discard fodder since you're evolving him, uses one evolving effect, so discard a card. Let's just ditch this Gazimon here, and then you can bring back a level 4 or lower purple Digimon from your trash, so you can bring back the card you actually just discarded, assuming it is a level 4 or lower. But in this scenario, I'm going to go ahead Digivolve, use his Digivolving effect to bring back Ogremon. Ogremon will then trash another card out of my hand to delete an opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So just like that, off of your turn, you have established a 12,000 Digimon on field. You have deleted one of their level 4 or lower Digimon, and you have put another level 4 on field, choking them to 1 if you did start with 3. So that is an amazing combo I really like as well. So guys, that is going to be the video. If you did enjoy this Lilithmon deck profile, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite version of purple? Is it Lilith Loop? Is it Tidamon Control? Is it Tactimon Control? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. But of course, you can never go wrong with the queen herself. So guys, that is going to be the video. Let me know if you did enjoy down in the comments, but thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.